I mean,
when's the last time you saw a YouTube video that had a dubstep intro with the 3D text of the?
Well,
I mean, you're not watching like Warzone content, so. I mean,
true.
Oh, Josh watches Warzone content. What's the answer on that?
Not for the last year.
He has not watched Warzone content for the last year, so
A changed man.
we're kind of out of it because I mean, it's been a long time. I've never watched a single Fortnite video, but they're past Fortnite now. The kids, they don't care about Fortnite. I don't even honestly know what they care about right now.
Is Warzone is that Call of Duty?
Yeah. Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, Call of Duty Warzone.
It's so weird that it's not called COD.
Yeah,
But people just call it Warzone.
people
now,
just
which
call it
is weird.
Warzone. Yeah, the battle royale.
This is what we talked about COD last time I was on.
Oh really? Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
We talked about Call of Duty lobbies for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no greater subject in all of Western
There
civilization.
must be something about you, John, that makes me want to talk about Call of Duty lobbies.
I wonder what any day way, guys. I went on a flight this weekend.
Okay.
Okay. And as is tradition on this podcast, every time we go on a flight, we have to tell the story of the person in front of us and what movie they were watching.
Yes.
Okay. I got a pretty good one this time around, which was a woman in front of me watching 80 for Brady. Okay. 80 for Brady. Now, for those that don't know, the summary of the plot is 4 women in their 80s win tickets to pool their money together. One of them mortgages their house and sells their car in order to buy tickets for the 2017 Super Bowl of the Patriots versus Atlanta, right?
Was that 2017? Okay.
Yes. And I remember because I saw it 2017 pop across the screen.
Did it all come in with beeping noises, one letter at a time, like it was a spy movie?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't. It says 0-100 hours.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's about family. It's about love.
Yeah.
It's about old people humor of old women doing things like being really good at throwing footballs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to guess how long this film is. I bet you cannot.
Okay.
112 minutes.
112.
That sounds like this. So there's a certain type of old white woman movie that exists where it's a lot of scenes of people in rooms talking, and they can stretch to 2.5 hours. I'm going to guess 2.5 hours.
Wait, how long was the flight?
How long was the flight? The flight was a 2.5 hour flight.
What?
Yeah, we went to Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. So
And
it
then
was
we
a
flew from there.
layover. Okay,
It was a
yeah.
layover, yeah.
Then I
So-
feel good about my answer.
Okay. Josh? 75 minutes. See, that's what I thought it would be. I thought this is a 90-minute experience.
Yeah.
Right? It is a full 2-hour film.
Oh,
it is
okay.
a 2-hour film.
So that's pretty
minutes
close.
off.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was pretty close.
Yes, good job.
John.
Good job.
I think
I
John
was-
kind of won that one.
I was very surprised.
He
just
priced
hit
his
it.
right at it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right where it was. Okay.
Shout out Bob Barker, who just died, actually. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, our
Price is
homie.
Right.
So 2 things I wanted to note. Okay. 2 major plot points. 1.
Were you in her earphones? You
No,
ask
she
her-
had subtitles on.
Which is pass up the headphone splitters. Hey, can you plug me in here?
Plug me in there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go Brady. So basically, it's the woman from Grace and Frankie is one of the women, and one of the core sort of plots is that she
Was it Grace or Frankie?
Uh,
There's 2
actually,
women in Grace
I
and
think
Frankie.
both of them are in the film.
Okay.
It's the one that smokes weed.
The woman from Grace and Frankie, a show that has 2 women's names in the title.
Frankie could be a dude.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't even know what the show is.
Yeah.
Any dang way. Long story short, this woman, the one in Grace and Frankie, smokes weed. She gets high on mushrooms and then confesses the fact that in this film that she has received mail from a oncologist and that she probably has cancer, but she hasn't opened up the mail.
Okay.
Sad. Heart of the film, right?
Yeah.
This is the heart. How will this all turn out? How it turns out is in real life, in the 4th quarter, the Patriots are behind by 20 points in the 4th. 28-3. Okay.
Good thing we have sports. Yeah, we got
Yeah.
sports guy.
28-3.
Yeah.
And so everybody, they through a whole bunch of hijinks involving losing their tickets, seducing a man who gives them tickets, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
They're in the box seats. They're having that time of their life, but it's falling apart. And then this woman is like, I did not spend all this money and come this far to have Brady lose this game. So he goes over to his the command box, the people that have from up top who have a direct line into Brady's ear. She walks over to there, breaks in, steals the microphone. It says, Brady, is this you? And he's like, yeah, who's this? She says, it doesn't matter. I have cancer. And I don't know what the future's going to look like, but I'm going to fight my hardest. And I'm going to try. And if I could do that, you could win Super Bowl. And then they proceed to win the Super Bowl. And that's how it happened in real life. That's exactly how it all worked.
That's for real?
No, well, it's based off of a real story. There was a picture at the end of the 4 80-year-old women in real life. Let me tell you, they did not look as Hollywood perfect as the, for 55-year-old women.
So wait, the cancer thing is real though? No, okay. Josh is shaking his head. Oh, the comeback.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
I know the
thought
comeback
that's what
is real.
you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the comeback is real. The cancer thing is not.
Does she have cancer though?
She does.
Oh, she opens the letter and she does have cancer.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't. The movie ends without her finding out whether or not she did, I think. I watched it over her shoulder.
He
Yeah.
like read the whole movie.
Yeah. So listen, there were some nuances in the delivery of the lines that I
Deaf
missed.
people watch movies too, John. Okay, they're not reading the movies. Ableist son of a bitch over here.
Oh gosh, goodness gracious. Anyway, so I thought I have to sort of spill the beans on that one.
Yeah,
guys,
you said there was two things.
Oh yeah.
Well, they go. Well, the other thing is that they all get high on mushrooms on accident, and then like play poker with Marshawn Lynch is like a plot point.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like just a plot
What's up
point.
with
You would love
Marshawn?
this movie.
Yeah.
You would love this movie.
What's up with Marshawn Lynch being a comedic actor now?
Dude,
He can't act too. I watched it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another thing we talked about last time.
Was-
Every actor wants to be an athlete, and every athlete wants to be an actor.
Yes, exactly. Or a
Well,
musician.
Speaking of, what about the other one, which is every chef wants to be an actor, and vice versa? Because guess who was a major cameo in that film?
Gordon
It has
Ramsay.
multiple lines of dialogue, and it helps the women get into the Super Bowl. Guy Fieri, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he is an actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
The
So
greatest actor.
one of the, I mean, where's that head's Oscar?
Yeah.
I want to find.
Wait, what's his? Does he like say something smoking or like what are his
Well, so
catchphrases?
there's
The last train to Flavor Town.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
one.
Where's
Yeah.
where's the Flavor Town? We got a Flavor Town in there.
So one of the women competes in a wing eating contest, like a
Yeah.
hot wing eating contest, of course, as it were.
in order to get a ticket to go to the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah, and I think like what ends up happening, she ended up actually losing, but then Guy Fieri like takes pity on her and like gives her the tickets or something. I forget
Yeah.
exactly what it was, but in that whole discourse, there is he reveals himself and is like Flavor Town,
Yeah.
then walks away. I don't
So
know.
the guy who was
Guy
seduced was not
Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
No, the man who was seduced was not Guy Fieri.
That would have been really funny.
Yes.
And it's like produced by Guy Fieri.
I believe Tom Brady is an executive producer on that film, which is just weird to me.
Yeah.
Because like.
I remember when they announced that movie, and that was like kind of an odd element to it. Because don't they like constantly like fawn over how sexy he is?
Yeah,
That's
and
like a
they're
whole
he's
portion of the
great,
movie.
Best football player ever. He's hot, and that's the
Okay.
whole thing. So I don't know who this movie's for. Can we talk about that? Who's
It
this
sounds
movie
like it's for Joshua Lee Pouser.
What do you mean?
That's true. Either that, or it's like it is other 80-year-old women who are into Tom
No,
Brady.
no. It's not. He
You
almost
almost
watched
did?
it. Okay, so it's not for 80-year-old women. It's for like 40 or 50-year-old women.
Yeah.
Because those women in those movies who are 80 or whatever, they act like 40 or 50-year-old women.
Yeah.
They don't act like 80. 80-year-old woman is not very spry. She's very slow. Not mentally, hopefully, but she's just kind of making her way through things. Right. Even the most fiery 80-year-old woman isn't going to be able to like eat a single hot wing.
With the bones still in them?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
high
They're gonna
risk.
coat, you're going to choke.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It'd be tough to chew through those breading with dentures, even if you were doing boneless ones. Or your
Hey.
gums. Imagine trying to gum a chicken wing.
If she's trying to get money through a wing eating contest, she certainly didn't have the money.
Yeah, it's like-
veneers or something, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like the worst. The worst thing you can do when eating a chicken wing is just like sauce it, just pure sauce. You know what I mean? Like that's why a lot of times boneless wings are spicier because you eat the whole thing at once or you eat more of it, right? I can imagine that if you were toothless, that'd be the most spicy thing imaginable. First off, hot sauce directly onto your gums, and then you just suck all the sauce directly off. First off, worst noise in the world is it's coming out. You
You're
just
right into the mic.
imagine walking
In
into
my
a
ears.
Buffalo Wild Wings and you just see this toothless guy sitting there with just a pile of naked wings. He's like,
sauceless.
keep them going.
I will raise you like a Buffalo Wild Wings chain, like express, in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Just have a room full of the thing.
Yeah. I'm sure that'd be really popular,
Just
honestly.
mic it up.
Yeah.
Sell it on Spotify.
Sample it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Guys, freaking A, we're this is a Monomaniacs podcast.
Yeah.
We got John Szczotka on the pod.
Back again.
Which every time I say your name, you say that I mispronounce it, and you never tell me how it's actually pronounced.
It's pronounced Szczotka.
Szczotka.
Yeah.
That's why we call him Shotgun.
Szczotka.
Szczotka.
Szczotka. Well, there you go. Well, so now I know. See, he's such a nice individual that he just has never corrected me more than one time. You told me that's not how you say my name, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy," and then you just didn't tell me how you say it. But then again, I should have anticipated your need and asked you.
Here's the deal: if we had not known each other for the 6 years that we've known each other, how about that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Time's a son of a bitch.
Well,
Yeah. if in the event though, I mean, like you got to keep in mind. I mean, this is a man whose Facebook account doesn't have his real name on it. Is that
No.
is that for that express purpose? I'm not going to say what your Facebook account's name actually is. But
when I made it,
Yeah.
I was in 6th grade. I think back in the day, Zuckerberg said you have to be 13 to have a Facebook, and I believe I adhered to that. So it might have even been 8th grade.
yeah.
But my mom was very, very concerned that my identity being out there and just people having access to my full name
Yeah.
would not be good. So they have him use my middle name.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why.
So you were good enough to wait till you were 13 on Facebook. Were you good enough to wait until you were of age to play RuneScape and World of Warcraft?
Oh no, absolutely not.
yeah, I thought so.
I think one of the core things that kind of set me on the trajectory, just like to play these kind of games. I was exposed to it back like when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Kindergarten, there was a exercise in which we had to draw on a piece of paper what you want to be when you grow up. And I wrote down a paladin, and I had a little picture with me and a hammer.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I didn't play a paladin.
Yeah.
Nobody I knew played a paladin, but I thought it was kind of
Well,
cool.
it's
so I
something
wrote it down.
aspirational,
Yeah,
would like
well,
to
maybe
think
one day.
You would like to think. You would like to think that if you were in the world of Warcraft, though, I was going to say the world of Warcraft, but no, it's just the world of
Yes,
Warcraft.
it is.
You would like to think that you would be something like a paladin. You wouldn't want to be a warlock. That'd mean
Certainly
that you're a
not,
bad
no.
guy who makes pacts with the nefarious. Except for they're not really demons, are they? They're aliens.
What?
Isn't that true?
No, in D&D that's true. Like Eldritch.
No. I thought
Beings.
that in the WoW thing,
The lore?
the lore, there isn't like a hell. Is that true?
Do I have to like burn up my like fan card here? Do I not?
Well, no, because
have I been got?
But the portals, are they to hell? I don't remember honestly.
I
Because
thought it was like a big dimensional thing.
maybe it's dimensional. I know
Yeah.
that the orcs are aliens. I know that.
Is that true?
Yes, they're from another planet, and they came over on like a gate, and that's what the plot of Warcraft 1 is.
Dude, you were speaking
No,
Spanish.
I promise. I promise.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
step up the ledge, John.
Yeah. After this, I'm gonna.
This is gonna be a really bad podcast
During the-
if we pull this thread.
Yeah. In the Patreon, I don't know. Is Josh looking this up? Yeah, no, I promise
appreciate it.
they are from one of the expansions, like Warlords of something with a D.
Draenor.
Yeah, Draenor.
No.
Draenor is a planet.
It's a planet.
Yes, Draenor's a
I
planet.
thought it was like another like dimension.
No, I think they're from another planet. Is that right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, sort of.
it is because
They can't hear you, dude.
I can hear Josh.
Yeah.
it's because the Draenei are benevolent. They're not considered demons, but aliens.
Okay, no, the Draenei though, that's totally different. He's like, what do you expect from me?
Yeah,
Legion demons equal alien. There's like forums on this. Is that
yeah.
right?
Legion demons. Try to pull that thread just a little bit. This is terrible podcasting. But
Yeah, yeah.
we gotta know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
John, you've
stuff.
played like thousands of hours of Warcraft. You don't know.
I don't know
this
if I've
stuff?
hit thousands of
I-
hours.
this is-
It's definitely hundreds, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not. I guess I never really looked into lore very much.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, click boar.
Click board.
Yeah.
Level go up.
Yeah. Standing and hitting. I can stand
I can
and
stand
hit.
and hit.
Yeah.
And eventually you can stand away from things and then like cast and hit.
Yeah.
Gameplay.
Josh looks like he has something he's gonna say. What?
Okay, so this is a question on the forums. It says, other than Draenei, again, I'm gonna mispronounce stuff.
yeah.
Probably.
Doesn't matter.
Where are the other alien beings? This is saying there's a lot of other stars in the sky, a lot of
Yeah,
other
yeah.
planets, yada yada yada. People start naming stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like Void Lords, Ethereals, Naru, Maghar, Legion demons are aliens. And then one guy whose name is literally Small Shad. It's probably
Shad,
Shad.
it's you.
Sorry, it was when I was young. Back. This was when I was young.
It trails off. It's probably Shadow or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It says Small Shad right there. It says, orcs are invaders from another planet, right?
Yeah.
And then space goats. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay, that was all an elaborate plug for Shad's post in this forum from like 2008.
Yeah.
He's like, I did not get nearly enough
Which
karma
honestly,
for that.
you know, is we that text he just read sounded a lot like what I said. Right? It's like, the orcs are alien invaders, right?
You dumbass.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it was in 2019.
Yeah,
I was
well,
I was small back then.
Yeah, Shad was a much different man back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Or small shadow boy.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Were you?
Oh,
in 2019?
2019. I guess I was 21, 22.
Yeah. It's not like terribly.
No.
Yeah, it's not terribly far off.
No. He's not old. Shad's not old.
No.
Oh, we look old, though.
We're Americans. We're not old. I had to give a presentation to some young people earlier this week, and it took all of me because I was just in this room and it was a bunch of students and my boss, and then I was there and nobody knew who I was, but I was just standing among the students because there was no other seating, so I was just there, and I almost wanted to be like, I know I might look like the weirdest freshman who's ever existed. Wearing a suit.
I mean, I know I've seen much worse freshmen in my time at Hillsdale College than what you look like right now, I will say.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what
I feel
that.
sorry for those kids.
Yeah, I don't know what that means about me and my feelings towards others. You know, and my charitability, but it's true. I'm sorry. Facts don't care about your feelings, right?
The Hillsdale difference.
Yeah.
Right there. Thanks.
Hillsdale difference. We have the ugliest freshman. Right.
With the strongest facts.
Yeah.
With no regard for anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
Victory flag.
Victory flag. Go Chargers.
Yeah, go Chargers, guys. We got John Szczotka.
My man.
We got there. We got there. The
Yeah.
instinct kicked in.
Very nice.
On the pod. Welcome, sir. You are a second-time guest, which is an honor, right?
Yeah, like we say, you only are ever on this show once.
Yeah, so to be here twice is
Yeah.
I'm coming for your stuff, Brant. Watch out.
Honestly, it's been forever. You might be within striking distance.
You come on every week from now on until we beat Brant's record by one.
What is it at?
I think
Four.
Four.
Yeah.
4 episodes, but like 6 or 7 appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. We keep going. We keep rolling. And
Yeah.
even if we have your hand in one shot, right? That's going to be.
Oh, yeah, it'll
that's
work.
an appearance.
Yeah,
right
It'll
there.
be an Easter egg.
Yeah, we'll just call you on the phone, which we've done with Brant before. We'll call you on the phone. We'll put you on speaker.
Yeah.
You make like a half-hearted joke or whatever. You clock off, and we're like, okay, Brant, time's ticking.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Come back on. There
Yeah.
you go. So, John, welcome back to the pod again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I would say.
Well, John,
Well-
this is the third time I've introduced you.
Yeah.
So far.
I'm sorry. We keep getting sidetracked
Yeah.
to all hell. But
Did you know the orcs are aliens?
Yeah.
no way. You're lying to me. Look at some shit. I want to hear what little Shad has to say about this. Goodness. So, ostensibly, the show is about something. We talk about what somebody's into recently. Bring them on their monomaniacal obsession. Have a guest on today. Unfortunately for you, that guest is you. So, it's a tragic time in everybody's life where they have to face the couch.
Yeah, of course,
Right
yeah.
between Shad and Dylan.
Yeah, I feel like that video of the black dog at the dinner table. He's like looking this way and this way. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I would actually. I'll ask you about this. So, I've been wondering whether or not this is too intimidating of a setup.
I mean, it just feels as though I'm never like talking to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I'm turning this way, the mic it gets like rough.
Yeah.
I like the studio. It's beautiful here. You guys do a great job. The table was nice.
Yeah. It was very convenient, I think. The table was very convenient. I think that the problem is we couldn't do a table here, and it's like the only other option is like 3 chairs, but that means it would make the, I don't know, studio a little harder to use.
It certainly doesn't feel as sterile, right? This
No.
feels very homey.
Mhm.
It just
Exactly.
Yeah. It just kind of.
It's homey with your homies.
Yeah, I don't. Like when both of us have our arms up like this, it's just like, we're just.
No, dude. I had my arm up and then you put your arm up, and I was like, I almost touched your hand, and I said no.
I can like
Miss me
step
with
out
that.
for a second.
Yeah.
guys.
Not on my podcast.
Not on my
Promise.
podcast.
But let's bring it back, sir. What are you into right now? What's going on?
This is you guys texted me not to like reveal, like pull up the curtain for the audience, but earlier today, I was asked, "Hey, do you want to like come on?"
Yeah.
And I actually didn't like remember like the nature of the show by that
Mhm.
time. So then, we had I came into the studio like about an hour early, and I was kind of talking with Carson Waite. Shout out to Carson.
Mhm.
We're working on a project right now, and it's a project. Just the spirit of it is just trying to like keep in touch with people who may move far away.
Yeah.
Anyone who has graduated any amount of school, be it high school or college, understands it's difficult like to keep in touch with people.
Yes.
So I guess just meditating on that, and especially with what Shad just said, when he said like I was a very, very different person in 2019, and then I immediately pushed back. I was like, that's not that long ago, but you're exactly right. People are like wildly different than they were
Yes.
in college,
Yes.
right? So in thinking on that, it's a very specific energy you have to put into a relationship in order to keep it going, especially if you're not spending
Yes.
time with each other.
Yeah.
And the reason that is, and this is something I've kicked around for a few months now, I think the reason for that is because people and how fast they actually change, how quickly they become different people. It takes a lot of effort to try to keep in touch and keep up with those changes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, like you can like the person that you knew they were 4 years ago, but unless you're keeping up with it, you don't really know that person anymore, right? Fundamentally,
I think that applies to a lot of things. I think that there are certain kinds of friendships where that doesn't necessarily apply. Like a good example would be Carson, who I have not seen in person in years. I've not seen Carson in person in a few years. And I don't know. I mean, when I hit him with that bit over the phone, I knew that he was going to do that. And that's because we had a relationship where he was on a show with us and he was, we did bits and all this sort of thing. And, I don't know where that all went. I think it got deleted. Off topic.
Yeah. So
Off topic.
There's a new WRFH website, and I'm wondering if it all got maybe
archived
uploaded as
there?
the backlog.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
but
think it's gone forever.
we had a show, award-winning, award-nominated. No big deal. And
say it with your chest.
yeah, exactly. But with that sort of thing, it's like, there's certain aspects of a relationship, or if you have a certain type of relationship where you can pick it up. But when it comes to an intimate, emotional relationship or any sort of friendship that has legs to it, you know what I mean? Where you're like, this is somebody who I'm emotionally reliant on.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing,
Mhm.
because, you can be surface level with anybody forever. And, somebody's humor might change or et cetera. But if something is simply ingrained as like, oh yeah, we just run bits or we hang out and maybe talk about our hobbies or whatever, that's easy to hold on to. It's just the real friendships are the ones that are tough to maintain.
They're hard to keep up. And the
Yeah.
other thing is, even with like things like bits, those are cool and they're very, very good. Some people just have like a very specific chemistry where sometimes they don't actually need that much exposure, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
like it's that kind of person you haven't seen in like years, but you pick up right where you left off and you haven't skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's something to be said about a really, really strong foundation like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
But I think you're correct, John, in saying that the on average, right, that is not the case, right? It's either you're very invested in a person or you have not quite enough of an investment, and this is the vast majority of people that right? I think they fall into either one of those camps, and they just fall off, or sorry, they don't fall off. They as people don't fall off.
They fell off hard.
Your guys is
Peaked when they knew me, right?
exactly the best.
Everybody does.
Best time of their lives. That disconnect grows so easily because you never really knew who they were in the first place on one angle. And so, when they make all these changes, right, whether or not they're surface level or, further down into their personage, you start to become even more distant, even more quickly, right? And when you have a very emotional connection with a person and they're gone, that is so easy. It's so easy for that to slip away, right? At least that level of friendship. Just because, as you say, it only takes 3 months of not talking to one another for something to happen to a person.
Yeah.
Right. That fundamentally could change, their perspective. And, there's a long way of saying that, like, yeah, I mean, things happen to people. If you don't talk to them, then they're not going to be the same person that you talked to previously. But like at the same time, I think that everybody's goal or hope would be to be able to maintain those friendships. Right.
Of course. And like they can't be held like 100% accountable. Like, there's only so many hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
When like I don't know if either of you guys have any friends you knew from like high school. They used to like hang out.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Well, I mean, not hang out because they're
No,
hundreds of
for
miles
distance,
away,
right?
but yeah.
They keep up with, and that you
Yeah.
still rely on each other, you still talk to each other. It's wonderful, right? It's not. I'm sure it's not like every single person you knew, right? A lot of those relationships are born of convenience, because
Yes.
they're right there, and you have to get along. right?
Yeah.
But when there's a separation, that's kind of where the rubber meets the road, I think. And that's something I try very, very hard to try to maintain these things across.
Yeah. And you experience
geographical
what you're
distance.
describing in microcosm when you're a freshman in college,
Yeah.
because you show up and there's this binding together that occurs because you're in a place that you're uncomfortable at, and you become fast friends with as many people as humanly possible, and you just shed like nobody's business. You
That's
know what
true.
I mean?
It's true.
I mean, I had so many people who I was like, this is we're the buds, and then a semester later or even a few weeks later, it's like, yeah, never mind. And that convenience, those are the hardest ones. Like you talk to people like that today, and you're like, oh, we have nothing, absolutely
Seriously.
nothing to talk about. I mean, like, have you ever seen somebody from high school or something like that, who you were friends with for like 6 months or whatever because of, again, proximity, maybe you were in the same clubs or whatever, and then you're like, who is this person? I have no desire to talk to them, anything along those lines.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just sociopathic. I don't know.
Me? I don't
You're
know.
cut out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't need you anymore.
fell off. Goodness.
Yeah.
But no, so you're thinking about this in your mind. What is a solution for this? Like, what are you trying to do to actively preserve, your friendships?
Like I said, I think there's only so many hours you have out of a day, right?
yeah.
Everyone spends at least like 8 hours ish at work, right? And then they have to sleep for another 8 hours. Hopefully, everyone's getting their 8 hours in. This man's ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So
just you talking about sleep, I was like, oh man,
It's been a minute,
I haven't had that in a while.
That sounds nice.
And then people have to maintain like their relationships are very, very important to them. Things like if somebody's married, for like both of you, if you have a kid, those relationships take a lot of time and energy out of your day to maintain. Like that they need to come first. So in terms of friends, it's a very, very difficult thing to
Yeah.
be diplomatic with your time.
yeah.
And
Yes.
be smart with it, right? It doesn't mean you have to like call them every day. It doesn't mean you have to like never call them. You just have to say like, hey, it's been maybe like a good couple of weeks. I should probably give them a buzz.
Yeah.
I think it's just literally all of it is just making sure you continually refresh your knowledge of the person, right? If you don't know them, then you can't really like them very much. You don't like people you don't know. If you don't like strangers, right? And effectively, if you let these things fester and let that distance grow too big, you essentially made a stranger. You knew who they used to be, but not necessarily who they are now.
There's somebody that they used to know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Somebody.
That was completely on key, right?
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah. You're a trained vocalist. Was that on?
I thought it was great. I think Shad should do the Kimber part.
Let's harmonize.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally
I can't believe you remembered the person who was featured on the GoTA song, somebody that you used to know.
she was not a member of the band. She was featured.
I think so.
I thought she was a feature.
Yeah.
Fact check.
GoTA and Kimber, right?
Jeez, I remember there was a kid.
Yeah.
Speaking of high school acquaintances, there was this high school acquaintance of mine who was like, Goatee is like a really good band, and was like listening to their music all the time. It was like, yeah, this is just their one.
He was that guy back in like 2012.
Yeah, it's all gonna come out. They're gonna be the best. They're gonna be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Which is just I mean, it's so weird to think that now a lot of the songs that we sort of grew up in, like our high school and middle school years, are kind of how songs were for, if we had very young parents back when they were in college or back when they were in high school, where it's like one shot, one hit wonders that are now just in the ether of one hit wonders.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Like it's no longer has any modern veneer to it. Like it's weird. I have like a strange connection to them, but at the same time, history will remember them like any other, one hit wonder.
Yeah.
But the one that will ascend all, of course, is Imagine Dragons.
They were not a one hit
Yeah,
wonder.
they're not a one-hit
Hits
wonder.
on hits on hits.
Yeah.
Nothing but
Yeah.
hits.
They're ascending into something. I don't know what it is.
Demonhood.
Demonhood.
Alien Hood.
I like how their band is a command.
Do this.
Yeah.
Or else.
Imagine Dragons. Like, do I have to consent to this? I don't know.
Goodness. But I'm to bring it back to what John was saying. I think you're completely correct. I feel really bad about, because I'm not really good at this, right? Like this is something that I have a really hard time with, and it's nothing personnel, kid, but like
of course.
it comes down to the fact that I'm forgetful. I tend to, push things off that, should be of higher priority. In this instance, right, I won't be in contact with somebody for a period of time that suddenly becomes awkward. And then it's awkward to reconnect with that individual because that period of time has passed, and that is just another barrier that is preventing me from contacting them. And then eventually, as you said, it grows longer and longer, and then they become a stranger. Right?
It's like working a muscle, right?
Yeah.
The relationship you have with somebody, if you don't exercise it, it's going to atrophy. And once it atrophies, the only antidote to that is to work it, and that might not feel good for a little bit. It might be awkward. You might not be in sync, but eventually, if it's the real deal,
I think it's actually
work back up.
I think it's less a muscle, and I'd say it's more akin to putting in a retainer you haven't worn in 6 months.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's
Oof.
and eventually your teeth are straight again, and everything's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's
that initial hurdle.
Yeah,
right? That's
well, you got to also kind of keep in mind too that they're also busy and they also have responsibilities, and they also might have a wife.
I'm not even
and,
implying that it's on them in any respect. Right?
Yeah.
I know that it is entirely arguably it's a two-way street, but
it
also,
takes two to tango. They're not calling you either.
Yeah, but at the same
phone
time,
works two ways, right?
Yeah.
It's like you want to try to put your best possible forward in regards to that and be a better person.
Yeah, and
not say better than them, but just like, I want to be the kind of guy that does contact old friends and does try to make those connections.
Of course, and you want to be the guy who's like gracious as well, right? I think we're all of the age. I mean, Josh has been since the Stone Age, but like when friends are getting married, when they start having kids, don't be that ass who's like, you've changed, man. You don't make time for me. It's like that person has a child and a wife.
That's
like, you know what I mean?
Annoying thing, man. I know a guy who he would always do this thing where he's like, man, when people get married, they change. And then, of course,
obviously.
And then, of course, he got a serious girlfriend and he's like changed. And he's like, man, life's good. And you're like, yeah, of course, because that's just the thing that human beings do because you're going through life normal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, freaking do not report this man on this podcast.
No,
he knows who he is.
Yeah, he might. But, if you
I do not know him if that narrows it down. For the sleuths out there.
You have to have certain priorities and your priorities change, and that's natural, right? And you can't live in a perpetual state of arrested development where everything's the same forever, because then you're a guy who's like 45 and still sleeping on the floor in a punk house somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to do
Damn,
that,
I wish that were me.
Damn,
if you've talked to me over the last few months,
yeah,
I guarantee you've heard me use the phrase 40 after 40.
No, I don't think
so. The 40 after 40 is a concept. I forgot. I don't even know who coined it. It's I've read it a couple of times, but the 40 after 40.
When you tape 2 40s to your hands?
That comes in the first 40.
Yeah.
So the 40 after 40 is basically the concept that once you turn 40 years old, like your midlife crisis, right? You have another 40 years left to be on this planet, unless you plan on just dying.
Yeah.
You have modern medicine right now. You probably have another 40. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You're going to feel tired. You'll have been working for about 20 years at that point. What are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Yeah.
If you don't nurture your relationships, and if you don't have any emotional capital built up and invested into things like family or or close friends you can spend time with, it's gonna be a long 40 years for you there, buddy.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's like when you talk to people, I feel like there's this desire among young people to immortalize older people who don't do that, who are like, wow, man, I was at this party and a 50-year-old guy showed up, wild and stuff. And it's like, dude, that guy's life sucks.
It's sad.
That life just sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like people who are like, oh man, I can't wait to be the cool aunt. And it's like, okay,
you can be a cool aunt, just
have your
give them some
life
cousins,
together.
right?
Yeah, it's not even like you don't have. It's not even necessarily like you have to get married or whatever, but just kind of getting your life on track. Where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna do this for the rest of my life. It's like, okay, well, eventually it's gonna get sad, and people who are older than 25 aren't gonna find you cool anymore.
There's this documentary on Vice, on the Vice's YouTube channel.
Gravers?
The Gravers, yes.
Yeah.
What is this?
Rave to the Grave. It's people above the age of 50 that still go to raves on a regular basis. They did this thing at the end of it. They were like, this is a visual representation of the amount of drugs you have taken in your lifetime. And there was a guy that literally had an entire bale of hay that they were like, that was all hash that you smoked. and he didn't show up because he was recovering from the rave last night. So like, we can't talk about that guy's drug intake because he didn't show up. But so yeah,
We don't talk about him.
Yeah.
But I think like the end of the documentary, because that's this woman who's like interviewing these ravers, these old ravers, and she follows the day in the life of 3 of them, and at the end of it she's like, I may not be the person who's out there with a family at the end of the day, but you can know that I will be raving until my grave. And I'm like, that's what you took away from this?
That's a great call to action.
Yeah,
The doc, right?
you see these people, then you're like, yeah, I will also be that person.
What was the day in their life? Like, where do they wake up? They have roommates?
Well, so
Jobs?
followed one guy to an actual rave, like a festival. One guy was doing a health checkup because he was in his 60s and had been raving for the last 30 years. And had taken copious amounts of cocaine.
Yeah, does raving require you do a lot of drugs?
In
Is
a
that
way
like,
that
That's what I think.
yeah.
The
was there
culture
any like
is.
sober
Yeah.
ravers? Because I know some sober ravers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight edge.
Yeah.
X is all they had.
They go because they
sober
like the
ravers.
music.
Yeah.
They like the environment.
Yeah, there you
Man.
go. Good for them.
It's
I
odd that
guess.
they can enjoy it.
But
Without
are
like,
they?
hey,
But are
more
they
power
the
to
kind of
them.
people that are going to rave till the grave though?
Yeah. I feel like you have to like raving at a proportionate level to where you can possibly enjoy the presence of intoxicated people. You know what I mean? Where like you have to like the music so much that you're willing to put up with talking to someone who's on Molly. You know what I mean? When you're not on
It's
Molly.
a high bar.
Yeah.
That's a high bar.
I don't know. It's just especially when you tell them you're not on drugs and they're like, what?
What do you mean?
Why not, man? I don't know. I feel like that'd get really tiresome.
So the third guy, his whole thing was that he was a guy who had been raving since he was 13 years old. He was 50 something, and he looked like he was 85.
Yeah.
And he did like a bump of ketamine to start the day,
Yeah.
and like just sort of piled it on, like did an 8-ball after that, like just kept.
I mean, you
going,
have to.
going.
Ketamine's like horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, you
you
just
gotta
gotta-
level out there.
Yeah, I did watch
To
their
get out of bed. Just
I watched a documentary on ketamine as well. There's this guy who like takes this huge line of ketamine and he's like, all right, this right here, this is coke. Level me out. Make sure it doesn't get too bad. I'm like, that is, if cocaine is making you level, right? That is rough.
the quote. Another shout out to Garson. This is something we talked about when about drugs.
Yeah.
When leveling out, when like ketamine to cocaine and stuff like that. Like, yes, you're at 0. But the way his like mathy brain conceived of it is like you have to take the absolute value of stuff you're putting in your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Sure.
curious.
Your absolute value is like a 16.
I've never really done like hard recreational drugs or even recreational drugs. And I've just always wondered, what feeling are you chasing when you level? Because isn't the point of you doing an upper that you're upped? Or if you're doing a downer that you're downed? You know what I mean? It's like, well, what are you leveling out for? And when
Well,
you're
so you-
leveled, you're not feeling normal.
The
Like, what are
phrase-
you feeling?
The phrase that I hear often on these documentaries, I've watched
Yeah.
many. The one on hallucinogenic honey is a trip, dude. And
Word.
that's not a pun, but the guy who they sent out there is the worst dude in the world. So it's awesome. Anyway, is something that takes the edge off, right? So it's
Yeah.
like if you're a little too hard in one direction, you take another drug to balance it out closer towards ideal zone, the Goldilocks zone of
Yeah. Being on a
recreational drugs. But sorry, I interrupted you. You were going to say something.
No, nothing in particular.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So is what happened? So this guy woke up, took ketamine. Then
Woke
what
up,
did he
took
do after
ketamine, and
that?
he's like, "We're gonna go off to it's a small rave with some friends of mine." And
Are they all British?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
British documentary.
raving is huge. In
Yeah,
Britain.
it's a big Euro thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so they go, and he's like, "It's just a bar," and he's like sitting in the corner of the bar and drinking a beer, and they're like, "So this is?" He's like, "Yeah, come here, meet my friends. We're raving. I love being here with the people." And he's like, "So why do you come out here to do this? Is it so you have fun?" He's like, "Really, it's to stop the voices in my head. If I stopped, then I don't know what would happen."
Oh man.
and then he like goes outside into a park, and there's like some reggae music playing at the park, and there's like 20 people there,
And he starts rave
and
dancing.
he's just sort of like going back and forth, and then the documentarian is like, "All right, I have to leave before it gets a little too crazy around here," and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna get wild," and then obviously
Average
poor guy.
remainder.
Yeah.
Remainer, by the way.
Yeah.
Average remainder.
Terrible. Anyway, that's that documentary. I didn't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh no, people kind of like letting their lives get out of control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and not kind of like.
But that guy
having
had
a
plenty of
trajectory.
friends. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but also I don't know.
In if I am to play like devil's advocate, there is a way to like frigidly go in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be the kind of guy who never indulges in any amount of fun,
Yeah.
and then like is constantly on the lookout for somebody who like shares their perspective and shares their very high standards, and never finds somebody, ends up also alone, but actually having no fun.
Yeah.
And being that's even worse
Yeah.
than like Mr. Graver over here. You know what I'm saying? That's
I don't
just
know
as
if that's
bad.
worse than Graver, because Graver is day drinking. Although the other guy may be day drinking as well. So
Day drinking, no, day ketamine. It's a different thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
But
different vibe.
the point is that guy has like at least Graver guy. If he has like legitimate friends,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like saw you interact with them. If he has like legitimate friends,
What-
he can say like, "Hey, I have these memories that I can cherish over what I made with my friends." What does the other guy have?
a 401k? I don't know. I'm trying to imagine what Graver like. What kind of place did he wake up in? A flop house? Like, well, how does he pay the bills?
He has a home.
That's a great point.
He does odd jobs and gardening. That's what he does.
So exactly, because if your life is you do odd jobs in gardening, which means you just screw people out of money, because it's obvious he's not going to do a very good job.
True.
I guess that's like why contracting as a discipline has existed historically. I guess, right? It's like so that there's a place for guys like that to go and like make some money and then be late on a job and like still sort of get paid because people have basic decency. But I don't know. I mean,
That is a very rough estimation of
Yeah, that's what I'm
contractors. Too. You know a lot of contractors.
look, if a contractor wants to come on the show and defend themselves and how they're different than other contractors,
Screw
sure.
you. You're not allowed on.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
this is
like-
no contractor zone.
I'm different. I'm not like the other contractors.
Yeah.
I wear Nirvana shirts.
Yeah, we're doing ethical contracting.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You're gonna revoke your diploma here. You talk
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I'm really kind of I don't know. I'm fascinated honestly with this Graver guy, and I don't know. Is that guy happy? It's like a beach bum.
No, I think that
because he's doing what he's
He
doing,
was-
so he
he
doesn't
was-
kill himself.
he was surprisingly transparent about being
Yeah.
like, yeah, just I'm utterly sad at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
I can't, like, what else am I supposed to do? Right. So
I take back
grave.
what I said about him. Like ultimately, I didn't know he's like I didn't know that's his attitude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think he like said it in such words, but like that was what was being communicated.
Sure,
right?
sure.
It was just like, what do you do? I'm come this far. I have no real other direction to go. So
Say this guy's
keep it-
55.
Well, he's probably a little older, but yeah.
So still 25 years left.
Yeah,
Actually, probably closer to like 15 for him, but still,
you
No,
could learn to
probably
it's a
sail.
long time.
Yeah, he could whittle. I don't know. Learn how to sail.
You think he can afford a sailboat?
Dude,
I don't know. He just apparently got a garden some more. He's gonna be able to afford a house.
I think that man probably can't even has to spend all of his money on the drugs that keep him alive. Right? Like I doubt that
yeah, it was like when,
the
when does he have time to garden?
withdrawals would kill him.
Because you garden during the daytime. I imagine he's sleeping off a rave half the time. I don't know. And he's on ketamine. It's hard for me to.
The entitlements are really good in Britain.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I
True.
mean, maybe he's just the NSA is just not NSA.
NHS.
NHS.
My guy.
The NHS.
I know that the NSA is overreaching, but
Yeah.
a little extreme.
We're like, we got to keep this guy alive for national security reasons.
This man is the nuclear football.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, the NHS, the guy has his fifth heart attack or whatever. Gets taken care of.
Fifth
so.
heart attack.
I imagine like the equivalent of like, like the, not Mike Graham, that's the British right-wing guy, talk show host.
I don't
Is
know who
probably
that is.
he's just, I don't know, he's like on GB News or whatever. He's funny. I've watched compilations of him talking where he's like, the left has gone absolutely loony.
Loony.
And just that's it. That's all he ever says. They're just bonkers.
Anyway, that'll be 100,000 quid.
Yeah.
That's how much that my opinion and my delivery is worth.
Yeah.
That's what I contribute to this network.
Yeah. But I imagine he's like, these Gravers are on welfare. This is the Romney welfare queen thing, but it's like, well, my hard-earned tax money from doing this. He's going to keep this guy alive. You know,
That went Australian at the end.
I
there.
did. I'm bad at the accent thing, especially
If
for
he
that,
had his
but-
druthers, I'm sure he would send him to Van Diemen's land.
Yeah, no, not excuse me, not druthers, the bollocks. It's different over there on that side of the Atlantic.
Goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just like the way the British say ketamine. It's so weird to me.
Are you pro or anti penal colonies in general?
I thought that was going a different direction.
No, it's not. It's
Okay,
going this
so,
direction.
Penal
yeah. Oh,
colony.
damn it. Am I am I pro or anti-penal colony?
Yeah.
I think the problem with America is we do not take our convicts and push them somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's our big issue.
There's no place to make a penal colony.
New
except
York,
the
the city of New York.
That's true.
We
And
wall it off.
and we make the film Escape from New York,
Yeah.
which is a great film. Are you familiar with this?
Of course.
Yeah.
Is that the one where like Kurt Russell like
Yeah.
catches that knife that's thrown at him? He throws
Yeah.
it back at the dude.
Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. And no, you're thinking of
Big Trouble in Little
Big
China.
Trouble in Little China, my favorite movie.
Also Kurt Russell though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's also Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, it's on the reflexes. That's a great movie. I love it. Sammy Roberts, you can fight me. But no, Escape from New York is, they wall off New York and they turn it into a penal colony, which it's really funny because it's the explanation in the opening credit crawl is because of increased crime or whatever. It's like, what? The crime gets so bad we wall off New York?
So actually, that's actually a sequel to RoboCop.
yeah, exactly.
RoboCop set in Detroit, like crime is rampant. After
Yeah,
like the Officer Murphys don't work,
Yeah.
they eventually have to resort to putting everybody to New York.
Putting
There you
everybody
go.
in New York.
So, what's your opinion on the penal colonies?
I mean, penal colonies in general, I think if we could find a place for them, it could be an interesting thing to consider.
I love that.
Politician has to
Yeah,
answer.
no, it's not even- that's not even-
Disavow, by the way.
That's not even a politician has to answer. That's just a dog whistle answer.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
For who?
I'm just asking the questions. I'm just asking, should we consider putting all of the convicts on the moon? Like in my mind, that's just I don't know. That's
It's crazy that is the way that your mind works.
no.
Wow, that's kind of weird, Shad.
No.
kinda strange.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if somebody was to say that, that's what they would be insinuating.
Spends way too much time on Twitter.
No, I don't know. The answer is the moon, by the way. We sent them all to the moon.
shoot.
Callisto Project. We sent them all to Jupiter's moon, dude.
I think Callisto Project is not as good as like Space Jail movie or whatever.
True. It's,
The
Rock.
reason I asked is because was partly because you were talking about Australia, but I was also thinking about. You guys remember when The Onion was like really funny and they made those shorts?
Yeah.
The
Those are
fake news
best.
stories?
Yeah.
They were talking about the one where the Supreme Court voted on whether or not the death penalty was okay. Have you
Yeah.
seen this one?
Maybe I forget what the punchline was.
So basically, the story is the Supreme Court, like is like Scalia's court as well.
Mhm.
They had to decide whether or not the death penalty is okay. So during our oral arguments, there was testimony in which they showed like a video of a lethal injection where the guy's like in pain, dies,
Mhm.
and all the justices like are written on the record saying, "That is so cool. That is so wicked." And then the rest of it is just like them trying to think of different ways to implement the death penalty that are like cooler. And the punchline, the punchline is that it was an 8-1 vote, and Justice Kennedy was the only one who dissented. He said it'd actually be a lot cooler if we put all of them on a penal colony, like Mad Max. We had them fight to that'd be like so brutal. That entered my mind.
That
That's
is
why.
pretty.
That's why.
I will say a lot of great fiction comes from penal colonies, post-apocalyptic penal colonies.
That's
So,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
If we could just like
Mad
make
Max
that
is
happen.
not by virtue of Australia being a penal colony. I guess Mad Max is about a penal colony, but
Because Mel Gibson.
yes,
There you
yes.
go.
But that is why I said that penal colonies could be cool, because I thought that would be pretty wicked. To have
It would
like
be pretty damn.
like imagine if
wicked.
Escape from New York was real.
Yeah,
Shad's on board.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. I guess
You would name a child Snake just so that he had the chance of saving
becoming
the,
Snake Plissken.
saving the
Yes.
president from New York.
Yeah.
'Cause he takes on his gay lover's name.
Yeah. What's the president's name again? Damn.
It's
No.
played by Donald Pleasance.
Yes, Donald Pleasance. Who plays it? I love Donald Pleasance.
No.
Also plays the president or the dictator and warrior of the Lost World.
True.
Not familiar.
Yeah, it's
no, very few are.
It's a Mad Max knockoff about a guy in a post-apocalypse that has a post-apocalypse that also has a 1984-esque government simultaneously somehow.
Yes.
And he's the chosen one.
And also he drives
It's
the
the guy-
talking motorbike.
Yeah,
Don't forget about that.
It's the guy from Paper Chase. If you've ever seen Paper Chase,
No.
it's the guy from Paper Chase.
This is all uninteresting conversation.
Yes.
So I will move on to thanking our patrons that allow us to do this. They allow us to have these uninteresting conversations. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Guys, if you're interested in supporting the show, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One, you can join the patrons. We've got a post show we record every time after the episode. There's over freaking how many hours of content? Over 60 hours of content, right? That's only $5. You could freaking pay $5, watch it all, and then unsubscribe. We'll take your money. Be great. Thank you. We appreciate it. We're poor. So, and then, at the $1 tier, you get the episodes earlier and, all yada, yada, yada in on nauseum. But the top tier guys, we want to thank those folks. First and foremost, Sammy Roberts, then Joe Papalardo, Luke Robson, and Zach and Amber Strehle. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. Could not do the show without you. And also, if you guys want to support the show but don't have the money to do so, that's okay. It's hard times. Inflation, it's rough. It sucks.
It's true.
Like and subscribe. That's all we want. That's all we
Subscribe.
ask. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and sometime in the near future there will be merchandise.
Coming.
So
We hit a bit of a snag.
we hit a snag.
So, yeah, we'll figure it out.
What platform do you stream on?
We're on YouTube.
Yes.
And we're all podcasts are sold.
Just making sure.
Okay. Dude,
Wait,
this guy
if-
freaking trying to hit me on the call to action. Good. Keeping me
Well,
honest.
if somebody's listening to this, what are you gonna say? Find us on YouTube? They're on YouTube. I don't know.
No, they could be listening to Spotify.
That's true.
We are also on YouTube. If you
We're
don't
also
know.
on YouTube if you want to see
Yeah.
our ugly faces and John's
Hey.
pretty face.
Yeah. Wow. Doing such a great job of pitching the show.
We got to have a beautiful face boy. Because I almost said
Make me
beautiful based boy.
was it the dog whistle thing?
Yeah. I'm not accusing you of doing that, by the way. I feel like I have to clarify because I got to nuclear on that. I'm not accusing you of doing that. It's just the way you asked the question.
No, I'm just,
when you said,
I'm just breaking balls.
Yeah. When you said, like I'm just consider it.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions.
Have you seen the South Park where Cartman becomes Glenn Beck?
No,
And every other word, he's like, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
It was like, say some absurd things. Like, I'm just asking questions.
yeah.
Dude, who knew that this would be the episode that got us canceled, Chad?
No,
I did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah,
Dude.
exactly. He's trying to ruin Monomaniacs.
Like an agent coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get the appearances in, and then the show will be shut down, so Brant can never beat me again. That was the whole play.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
yes,
That's
yes.
a good and right and moral goal. So
Yes.
I'm glad
Exactly.
you-
Anything
I'm
to
glad
slight Brant. Never mind. I've decided it's official. It's actually on the offensive. Screw you, Brant. Brant Cohen, if you're watching this right now, go to hell, you bastard.
He's not even a patron. I didn't hear his name.
yeah. JK, Britt. JK. That was in Minecraft. That was it.
I'm just considering the idea of me calling you a bastard.
In a COD lobby.
Yeah.
Sorry, in a Warzone lobby?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
I don't think there's even a lobby in Warzone.
Well, there's a lobby, but there's no Is there a proximity chat? Proximity mic?
Proximity makes
I know there is proximity. There is proximity chat, and I know this because my Facebook algorithm showed me a video where guys were doing this thing where to hide their footsteps, they would turn prox chat on and scream as loud as they could. So if they were climbing a ladder, which makes a really distinct noise, they would just turn prox chat on, scream as loud as they could, and then just run up behind the guy and stab him because
You'd think they would tell that there was a loud scream at the very least coming.
Yeah,
in
well,
from
you know
the-
where it's
they're more
coming from.
confused. Yeah, they're like, okay, well, somebody nearby is screaming. I don't know where that guy is. I don't know.
Dude, I think that any game that is you don't start with everybody in the same room and you stumble upon people that has prox chat, that's ideal, right? That's amazing. The idea that you could be in a game Shad knows what Dark and Darker is. You know what Dark and Darker is?
No.
The game is
It's an extraction shooter,
Yeah.
but it's medieval.
yeah, everybody gets put into a dungeon. Like somebody's a thief. You can party up with some people. You can play a barbarian.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and anyway, you dropped in, and the goal is to find treasure, search around, grab loot, and then escape by the end. While other people are also roaming through the dungeon, and there's monsters and stuff.
Okay.
But there is prox chat, and the creativity on display. The idea that you could run around without any clothes and scream like a little goblin and drop gold behind you as you run, like a loot goblin, is amazing. The fact that you could go and be a bard and sing songs at your opponents that distract them and make them dance, to which one of your other party members surprise attacks them and takes them out because of it. I just love that kind of creativity. Now, you do get a lot more racial slurs than you would in another game. So, that you take the good with the
Are
bad.
they at least like in lore racial slurs? Are they like anti-goblin slurs, like anti-elf slurs? 'Cause that's kind of okay, right?
Knife ears. Yeah.
You're literally being racist in a video game.
Yeah.
That is
in Minecraft.
Yeah, literally in
Minecraft
Minecraft.
Dungeon.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
like what if somebody's just very intolerant of like high elves, like in Skyrim, like how
Dude,
they're actually like very.
It's
racist.
actually like a personality trait on the internet to like hate elves. Like that's a whole archetype of individual.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's also an archetype of individual online to hate black people, but like that's a whole other thing.
Guys, we gotta cool it, dude. Is this gonna be the first episode I edit for content?
I think it's
Coward.
gonna be an audible. It's gonna be on your show.
Yeah.
I don't care. How are we doing on
You open the box.
Yeah.
It's true. Shad, he blew.
I what?
You open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Goodness. Guys, we're almost out of time. I don't even know where we wrap this up on. Reach out to your friends. Make sure you're in contact with people, guys. You never know what they're up to.
Yeah.
They might be different people, but
They might be in a penal colony.
It could be in a penal colony.
they might be in Minecraft. You never know.
They could be in a hollowed out New York City with walls around it.
Ooh.
And you're the only person who can get them out.
Yeah.
Imagine the stakes, and you don't call them.
Are they at the head of the arena, the most powerful gladiator in New York? Are they a taxi driver who has a flamethrower? Or are they the weird gutter people who live in the sewer? Who are they?
If that doesn't make you curious enough to call your friends,
Escape from New York.
I don't know what will.
You have anything to plug?
No, nothing in particular.
All right, cool.
All right.
Call your friends, call your mom.
Goodbye, everybody.